This is the Awesome Wrestling Podcast. This is Mastermind Sal. We got the big guy, Rich. And then we got the knight that runs the site, the Nick Lopez. The Nick Lopez.
Nick Lopez.
Pro Wrestling
Nick
Opinion.
Lopez.
Yep. Pro Wrestling
From
Opinion, right here. From Pro Wrestling Opinion. Pro Wrestling Opinion. PWO, 3 letters. Let us know. But, Nick, I think you should be the one to tell us. What's PWO?
Good question there, Sal. Yeah, let's go. Let's dive right on into it. PWO is a lovely little website designed by moi that I came up with back in the day, January 2015. Started out primarily on live coverage. Big emphasis on that. Previews, predictions. I pretty much have the whole calendar year of 2015 up there. WWE, TNA, ROH. And 2016 came. We added West Coast Wrestling Connection, AML Wrestling Live to the family. You can also find every single Raw, SmackDown, NXT, pretty much every single anything that was on national television and last year. You can find it. Our live coverage extends up to February 27th as of right now. The latest review that I have up there is New Japan and their Honor Rising events, nights 1 and 2. I just watched those, so keep an eye out. We'll get the 2017 ups. That stuff will come up eventually. But in the meantime, I'm watching old shows. I'm doing book reviews. We got AJ Lee's book up there. Justin Roberts' book. Daniel Bryan is on there too.
Do you have Jim Ross's book?
I'm reading that one right now, so that won't be in production very soon. So be sure to check that review out when it comes.
That's a really good book.
I just threw up was Wrestling's Golden Age, which is pretty much like a study of independent wrestling from when it first came about through the territorial days, with the big emphasis on Ring of Honor and streaming services. It's a really good read. You should check it out. It's written by Ron Snyder, who's a pretty known journalist in the field. Been around for like 15 years or so. And then for my throwbacks, I just threw up the ECW Guilty as Charged 2001 review. So, Hammerstein Ballroom, ECW, and lots of raucous genitalia-related chants. And a lot of hardcore wrestling, so be sure to check that one out.
Here's a question for the diehards. Well, quote unquote diehards. Do you have anything about Roman Reigns?
Yes, actually, you can find Roman Reigns listed on my worst 10 of 2016 list. And he's actually on about 3 appearances on my 2015 list.
What about Eva?
The memorable Tater Tots promo.
Oh my God! And what about? Well, I know you probably have a lot lined up for 2018. Also, in 2017, I guess you have a lot more stored for too, right? So that's one thing we gotta look forward to, indeed.
Oh yeah, of course. We're gonna keep the line rolling. Like I said, 2017 stuff is gonna be peppered in there every now and then. But I'm not working right now with a lot of great wrestling podcasts. So whenever they throw up new episodes, I feature the links. We also have a working partnership with Powerbomb.tv, which is another independent streaming service. They feature about 75 different promotions out there, from Beyond Wrestling to PCW UK. A lot of stuff going on. It's not just about what's on TV or what's not on TV. We even did some interviews with Dynamo Pro Wrestling based out of St. Louis. So feel free to check that out. Last interview I did was with pro wrestler / MMA fighter Anderson. So that one was a ball. That was a 2-part interview. I was battling, what do you call it? I had barely no voice, and I still managed to crank out an hour-long interview. So if you want to listen to the struggle is there. But nevertheless, we're here to break down, as we always do here on the RSN Wrestling Podcast, wrestling topics. And I'm going to throw it to Sal for what the three of us will be seated around the virtual dinner table to talk about.
Yes,
And
yes.
we're better than
Yes,
we're
yes.
better than the table of three.
Well, of course, before we go into, of course, our little discussion that we have today, I mean, of course, you can check out our other discussion that we have on our YouTube page, of course, on PWO, Pro Wrestling Opinion. Basically, we talk about other stuff, basically rise and fall of ECW, WCW, Women of Wrestling, which was a very high, stake podcast. A lot of people viewed it, a lot of feedback. Thanks for that. But, a whole bunch of other podcasts, other topics
do
that
an
we've done. Yeah. But definitely, I mean, definitely you can check that out on the YouTube page. A lot of good content, you can check out, and there's a lot of stuff. But today specifically, let's break down something that we haven't talked about today. So
You know what?
we
Fuck
haven't
it.
talked.
I'll just lead right into it since you said it. Why don't we just
Yeah.
break it down?
Yep, we should
Like
break it down.
DX did with their entrances.
Yeah, I like that. That's dope. Yeah. Tell them, Rich.
Our topic today is, well, we're not going to just do just WWE. We'll do all companies' entrance musics.
Entrance music. Well, entrance music, I guess themes. Well, entrance themes, and I guess entrance, right? So, I mean, well, let me ask you guys this: what, before we talk about, of course, entrance and entrance theme, what's the difference? Do you feel like there's a difference between entrance themes and just entrances in general?
Well, I think entrances are more how the person comes out, the walk out of Gorilla, down the ramp, into the ring, like their theatrical moves. Entrance themes are just the songs.
But a lot of times the entrances themselves are kind of generated by the theme that that's playing before it. You can't watch Triple H spit water into the air without hearing Motorhead in the background. You can't picture
Yeah, that's true.
spitting
That's true.
blood without his cool theme song. That was actually one of my favorites of the Attitude Era.
Gotcha.
Then you can't have the Shield walking from the crowd without hearing Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lino, Delta.
So something that basically sets the tone, I guess you would say, right? Well, like,
Yeah.
what I was thinking was in terms of like entrances. I mean, I guess it's just like a theatrical, and then entrance themes are basically what categorizes them. Like for example, like you see a heel, like back in the day, they had a heel and a face. Every time it was like a foreign menace, right? That would set the tone. This guy's a bad guy, or things like that. Whereas the All American Hulk Hogan would have the most American white branded music that's ever out there, right? That's it. But now it's like everything is just based to the wrestler. Like for example, Bray Wyatt. You see a certain class of wrestlers, they're stuck to it. If it's a big guy, they'll have a big guy theme to it. Basically, what it is look at all the big guys in the past: Taker, Kane, Big Show.
Big Cass.
Yeah, Big Cass. These guys have basically an aura to them that's stuck to them based on their theme, and that's how they pick up the music and all this other stuff, and that's what makes them stick out.
Cass entrance sucks though.
Yeah. Bucks, yeah, true. I mean, Bucks. I think their stature. If they were talking about their real stature, if you did told like a regular fan out there, well, like someone that never knew of the Young Bucks, and you ask them, okay, what's their height? They'll think, oh, like what's their height? Oh, I would definitely say that they're theoretically 8 feet. Literally, they talk like they're big guys. So that's one thing there. I mean,
the ROH. I don't think they really have a defining ROH theme song, but
I think it's just
the
Elite.
Club
That's
song.
it. Yeah. The Bullet Club or the Elite, whatever one they feel like using. It seems like.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you feel like? Well, we have like, of course, we can talk about wrestlers. They got, of course, the regular theme, and then they have like an alternate, right? Wouldn't you say that, or like a shoot off from it, right? Like, for example, yeah. I mean, like look at back in the day.
Sometimes if they're in a faction, they'll bridge back and forth between their individual song and their faction song.
Like
really
DX.
Much of it nowadays.
DX did that.
Yeah, DX. Yeah, they had a few different versions of it.
Ministry of Darkness.
Mm-hmm. What about Kane? Kane had like so many different themes, but I think it's stuck to the same theme. It's just they just add different kinds of
altered it a little
branches.
bit.
Yeah, Yeah, they have like different branches that go into it. Like if you check its very, very first team to now, there's so many changes they made. There's so many different things that they've done. It's like they've
but it
done
kind
different
of has the
alterations.
same. It has the same flow.
Yeah, same flow. So you'll see that. I guess it's kind of like Beyonce, for example. You see her 10 years ago, she was hot. You see her now, she's still hot. Like meaning like red hot, meaning in terms of popularity. She's always reinventing herself, always doing something different. All these different guys, same kind of thing. They always got to keep staying relevant. Like if you see Undertaker throughout the years, from his very first time he was there to now. With the whole, I think it was the organ they had in this very, very first theme. It was like an organ music, I guess. Now it's like
Yeah.
this, what should I say? It's like it's electric guitar, electric, what should I say, piano type of thing, where it's like, it has extra tones and stuff. It's more high def, things like that, I guess, And that's the thing, but hers, I think what it is like, the very first time that you see Undertaker, you see the gong. And when you hear that gong and the lights go out, everybody knows, holy shit, that's the Undertaker coming out, right? I mean, that's what we could say pretty much the theme would be, right?
Yeah, I think his 1999 Ministry version. Like if you go back and watch that Titantron, and
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for Titantron
Introns, yeah.
montages. If you go
Well, that's a
back
big
and
part too.
look at that, it is like one of the most scariest things you ever want to watch. Like if it's like 3 a.m. and you're sitting in the dark, throw on the
Yeah.
Undertaker Titantron from 1999 and tell me how you
Oh
are
my
the
god.
next morning.
Oh man, I'd be scarred to death.
You
I'm like,
watch it,
god
Flavor?
damn. Hell no, not at all. I mean, it's also the fact that I mean, if we talk about that, of course, the Titantron's a big thing. Also, especially I think what I noticed in the Attitude Era. Supposedly, you had all these different themes that were stuck to the character. If it was like Mankind, he had this kind of creepy, eerie music. And then it totally just changed into some kind of funky thing after he started, turning from from Mankind to Cactus Jack to all this other stuff. Basically reinventing himself. And then of course when you see like all the other characters, you see, for example, The Rock. The Rock had this kind of thing where he was starting out, and it was like this kind of cheap, basically like just bland, very, very bland. And then later on, when they started getting to the Attitude Era, they start adding a little bit onto it, some chords onto it, just to kind of give it a little bit of a change. It kind of seems like the Attitude Era. Well, wouldn't you say like the Attitude Era would be kind of like a big sponsor for let's say the drums or the rock, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you can say that.
I would actually go on a limb to say I think The Rock's Hollywood
Hollywood,
heel
yeah,
gimmick was his best entrance.
Oh, Hollywood
that's what.
Rock is probably the best one.
Yeah, I actually love
Like
the Hollywood Rock. That was stuck. Yeah,
like go back and watch them now. Like I think it was hilarious for the time, but if you go back and like look at look at the work he did during that gimmick, it's I think it's one of the best heel runs ever.
that's
And
right.
it came at a time when you can't really turn a guy who is as popular as The Rock heel, but it
It was
worked
tough.
because
Yeah,
he used his own popularity within his character.
yeah,
Like it went to his head literally.
yeah.
Some of the
It
most
was
hilarious promos
yeah.
you'll ever see.
It was
You tell
comedic
me
too.
it
I
doesn't
think.
work
Yeah.
without that entrance music.
Yeah, it was comedic too. That's what I liked about it. I mean, the biggest thing people always talk about with the Hollywood rock era was that the fact that all those segments with Hurricane Helms and things like that was hilarious. You look at that, it's like so many funny things that happened. It was crazy. And you look at the character, it fit it perfectly. When he gets speared by Goldberg 50 times, and he's like about to pass out, he thinks his spleen's gonna pop out of his his gut or something. It's hilarious. You look at it, it's like damn, it's a stuck up wannabe, stuck up Hollywood, actor just playing that role, and that's what defined him. I think that's a big thing. I mean, when you look
Mm-hmm.
at, let's say, like the Miz, for example, the Miz. Over the years, of course, he had this kind of quirky, kind of I guess music that was kind of like it wasn't fit for
Like,
him. But then after a while, it started changing, I guess.
well, sadly, I think he's when they did those awesome and the bubble letters at
Yeah,
WrestleMania. So, yeah, I think
that's
that's all
right.
I think of here his entrance.
Uh huh.
But I
Uh huh.
like his entrance. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's kind of ran its course. Like he could have changed it like a couple of years back, and I don't think anybody would have missed it. But I guess that's just a testament to how well of a character he plays on TV, because it's I think The weird thing is, I feel like he gets better and better every single year. He's been in the WWE for like I think 13 years now.
Yep, that's right.
Ju-
Well, I mean, that's
August makes 13 years for the Miz.
Yeah, so sometimes you don't really need the entrance to make your character, but
And just
I think
think,
it goes
when
without
he first
saying.
started, he wasn't good on the mic.
Oh, he was
yeah,
terrible. And ironically enough, he was the Diva Search host.
yeah,
And
and that's
now,
the thing. I think there's
and
MTV
now
guy,
he's
and
the
now he
best
went to
on the
this.
mic.
Yeah, one of the best and one of the best workers too. I guess I could definitely say that. This guy, he's like whenever you
And
talk about the IC title,
the one thing a lot of people don't realize, he is the safest worker in the company. He has yet to injure anyone in 12 years.
and he hasn't been injured either, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he hasn't been injured at all, so that's another thing too. Get onto his record. I mean, it's another thing too in the fact that this guy, he's been working hard. He's been putting in the work to kind of do everything right there. In an era where basically you could get kicked out for putting scraps of KFC on someone's gym bag to basically kicking other people out. That just says something. This guy's been there for a long time. He's done his stuff. It works perfectly for him. But I mean, when we talk about entrances, I mean, let's talk about one thing. Do you think props are needed when doing entrance?
Depending on the person.
Yeah, it varies on the character.
I mean,
But
like let's talk about a prime example. This past week we went to what do you call it? ROH Final Battle. You check that out on other podcasts right there on YouTube, but also on PWO. But basically, when I think of the prime example, Marty Scurll. I mean, look at his entrance. I mean, and I think a lot of people were saying the same thing. I don't know if you noticed this, Rich, but people were saying, he's wearing white. Yeah, he's like, woo, woo, he's wearing white. Like, holy crap, that's, it kind of brings it back to, that's, the significance of that. This guy has the umbrella, he has the mask and everything, the cowl, all that stuff. It works.
He's got one of the best looks in wrestling right now.
Without a doubt.
I call him a walking spy versus spy film.
That's right. That's right. I mean, he talked about this thing in another promo where he was talking about how, like, every time that he keeps on, adding more and more props, it keeps being added onto him. But they said it started with with the umbrellas and with the shades, and then slowly with the whole mask and everything. It all just, it all started adding, and that started becoming part of his character now. And I think that's what's there now, because
now he's just a walking prop.
He's a walking prop. I mean, that's the thing, and that's what's like. If you look at, for example, when Adam Cole Adam Cole got kicked out of the Bullet Club, that was a big thing. It was like, holy shit. And then what do you see the first thing? The whole, lights go out, umbrellas. And that's the big thing, umbrellas. That's when you see an umbrella, you think, oh shit, that's Marty Scurll. And then bam. And then that was like a big shocker. Holy crap, And then the whole reveal with him with the whole Bullet Club umbrella, that was interesting, To see that's a pretty cool thing, And that kind of defines him. What'd you guys say?
Oh yeah, of course. I think that
Because
that made his year right there.
Well, what I'll do is
going back to the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear Marty Scurll, what's the
Yeah.
two things that come to mind? His mask and the umbrella.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's right. That's right. And I think that's the big thing. It's kind of defined him now. Now it's kind of like, you see that? That's it. It stuck to him. Whether he goes to WCPW, whether he goes to, he goes to ROH, he goes to any indie show. If he's doing the finger snap, everybody knows, holy shit, that's that. And people are chanting, whoop, whoop, every time, whenever doing the entrance and things like that. So that's one thing. What about interactive moments? Like, in regards to the entrance. Like, for example, let's do this then. Give me at least one or two examples of basically an entrance being interactive with the fans.
Barely.
Yeah, of course, with the inflatable, I think the arms and things like that.
The shield.
What about
the shield? They're basically coming from the crowd.
Yeah, yeah.
Interactive.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Well, what about I don't know if you remember this. Night after WrestleMania, this past year. Vince McMahon comes out, and the crowd is chanting his theme, and he's coming out. I don't know if you guys remember that.
No chance.
No chance in hell. I don't know if you remember. It's basically like he's walking out. People chanting "No chance in hell," everything, and then it's like back and forth. No chance in hell.
Well, you also have to think the night after Mania, the crowd just does whatever they want, so they'll sing any person's entrance.
That's right. Well, then what about like let's think about, of course, the most big famous one, Daniel Bryan. Of course, the whole Yes Movement thing. That's like synonymous now. Who else? Trying to think of a lot of people.
Um, someone New Day.
New Day, of course, the whole New Day gimmick and everything like that. But wouldn't you say that that's something that also puts people over too? I mean, if you look at some guys, like for example, like right now, let's look at for example Baron Corbin, um, Braun Strowman, for example, uh, you know, who else? Like
I
look at
was
those
drawn
two
to
alone.
Braun when I first heard it. I mean, at least his the brand split was probably the best thing that ever happened for him because I think a lot of people forget he had his first run as a Wyatt family member.
Well, if I remember right,
But
yeah,
once he debuted on Raw with the
yeah,
and then the the Darth Vader chords and all that,
yeah.
I think that pretty much like
That put him
it
over.
gave him that restart that he needed. And he's kind of just run with it ever since. So I hope they never change his theme music because there's no other theme music that Braun could have. Now I like Baron Corbin's old theme song. The new one kind of I don't really get what they're going for with it. I don't know if he's kind of like a Sin City meets a Suicide Squad or something like that. I don't quite get what the look he goes for sometimes.
That's right. That's right.
But I feel like his theme song captures it a little better.
Well, what I think
Yeah,
is also,
his new one, I really don't like either.
yeah, it's just I don't think I like it. I like when he went from lone wolf to like now he's like I don't know. They don't have anything identifying him. Before it was like he's a lone wolf. The theme fit him. It was cool. It was good. It was catchy. But now it's like this whole theme with him. There's no name that associates with him. There's nothing that really identifies with him. I guess there's nothing really there. Whereas if you see like people like for example let's say you know look at like Dean Ambrose with the whole lunatic gimmick. People say, "Oh, he's a lunatic," right? You look at his Titantron, it's this whole kind of thing, flashy colors and all stuff, flashy lights. Hey, say, "Oh, maybe this guy is crazy," whatever.
Although theme music kind of reminds me of Triple H's, like in the way that it sounds, and the other thing you're throwing in is really a chainsaw.
That's right. Well, what about let's talk about Seth Rollins. What about Seth Rollins? What do you guys think about his old theme and now with the whole burn it down thing?
Well,
I love
if
the
you
burn it
notice,
down thing.
if you
Burn it
notice,
down.
they just keep taking the old entrance song and just keep adding sound effects to it.
That's right.
Why not just
Well,
make a brand new song entirely?
yeah, I thought the same. I was like, why would they do that? I think when I was looking it up, they said that what they said was Seth Rollins. Yeah, I think he said an interview. They were trying like 3, 4 things. It didn't fit properly, and then I think that they said that we need something else to fit. Vince didn't want just silence. He didn't like that. It's like it gives you those cards in the beginning where it's like starts out and then it goes blank, right? And then it starts to keep going resume, right? Vince didn't like that. So what he said is he said he wanted something to fill it into it, which I don't think is really needed. I mean, they could just stuck with the whole silence thing. That would have been perfect. Just that's it. Hey, just 5 seconds of just saying, oh, who the fuck is this? Oh shit, it's Seth Rollins. Okay, that's right. And then you just keep on going, where it is, But I don't know. It's like it just didn't fit. I don't think the whole burn to the ground thing fit. It's just like, it's all right. I think it's just cool to get the crowd into it to say, all right, it's cool.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about Roman Reigns? With the whole Roman Reigns, like, if you look at this point, there's no, yeah.
It's a personification of let's take this guy from this really cool group
Hmm?
and we're gonna push him to the moon, but nobody likes him. But you know what? We're gonna salvage that by taking the group's theme song and making it his theme song, just without the cool military entrance
That's right.
theme at the beginning.
So basically, it's just
But it doesn't just work for him by himself, It worked for the Shield because of what the Shield does. But then again, can you imagine another theme song for Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
no. Well, they were dubbing him, but
Vince
Superman.
McMahon's.
I feel like
Yeah.
it doesn't help, because you already know his coming out because the theme music plays. So now instead of it being synonymous with "oh cool, the Shield," now it's just kind of synonymous with "oh god, here comes Roman."
Ooh, that's the thing. First thing I hear when
They
that
should
comes out.
change his theme song to Vince McMahon's theme song.
Well, I think what they should do once they make him heel, because I mean, we talk about this. Well, let's talk about this too. Heel turns.
You could do that on SmackDown. You could do that on 2K18.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. You can pretty much do anything. Yeah, you can put Eva Marie's theme on Kevin Dunn's, entrance. I guess. Well, well, we talk about this. I think Rich. I think you shared this. Wasn't there a mod? I think where you can go out. Well, you can do something in I think in 2K18 where you can actually go ahead and modify the motions. Like a tag team.
Yeah,
Let's say the tag team is being it's Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns. They could be doing the same thing that Miz and Maurice do. It's hilarious. I'm like, God damn, it's just like a big pop personification of basically what's going on in real life. It's like, shit, you know. It's that's like the biggest memes of all time. It's like that's it, you know. That's just stuck to it, you know. When you see that, but it's like, you know, looking at these kind of different kind of things. Like for example, I think they did this one with No Way Jose and Triple H.
Oh
It
my
was
god,
hilarious.
that's the best I've
That was
ever seen on
hilarious.
the internet.
That just got me. That's it. That just got me right there. It was
I think
hilarious. Basically,
I think they also had Triple H doing Bailey's entrance song or
Bailey's right. I think it was Bailey's or I think it was someone else. Well, I think Finn Balor did Bailey's. I think too.
yeah, but with them, to be honest, it really seems like Finn and Bailey would make a cute couple
Yeah. Well, they got this little mix
because they're
match.
always together.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I think part of NXT's rise to popularity has also been the theme entrances that are, you know, I'll give it to CFO. He's you know,
Did he just
the
get
Sasha
fired?
Banks song, Finn Balor's,
Mhm.
then you know, Glorious, and then
Yeah.
and then I'm forgetting someone else. And
What's
Nakamura.
all Nakamura, of course.
And
Yeah.
Kevin's,
basically, at a point, NXT
KO's.
is just like battle of the entrance themes.
That's
Where
right.
like
I think what happens. Yeah, I think with
those
NXT.
are part of the hype for the actual match. Like sometimes I'm hyped just to see the entrances, and then the actual match comes, and I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you look at like well, when they talk about this, when they describe WWE to like a casual person, like you know, whoever has never heard of WWE before, like this is their first time going to a WWE show, they mix it. They tell them it's like a concert mixed with a sporting event. Basically, that's entirely what WWE is basically in that sense. Because you got these entrances, you got all this stuff, you got the crowd, you know, following with it like it's a concert. But then after the fact, you know, they have all this kind of stuff with the sporting event. They basically have this stuff and everything, and then you know, spots, whatever it is, and then bam, and then the entrance hits, crowd goes ham, and then that's it, you know. Well, let me ask you guys this then. What do you guys feel about reboots? Like for example, I think there was one point I think where Randy Orton was it was Randy Orton, Big Show. I don't remember who else it was, but they had basically what they did was they changed their theme completely. They put like a brief moment where they put another theme. I think there's a video surfacing out there with Randy Orton and he has CM Punk's old theme. I don't know if you remember. There was this one night where he was with CM Punk's old theme.
The fire burns. He used it for like
Yeah, the
one.
fun.
If
And
you
it totally
remember,
didn't fit.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Kurt
hearing
Angle
that.
used the Patriot music.
And that totally didn't fit. It was like, nah,
Play
you know, this is
Miller. There's a lot.
There's
of
actually a
play.
countdown on Watch Mojo does it. There's a top 10 songs, top 10 WWE entrance musics that were recycled.
Yep.
really. And it's interesting to see. You know, you see all these kind of mix-ups. Like for example, I mean, if you look at the general thing, like for example, Randy Orton, what they did with him, like they had this whole thing where it just started out with you know him just saying something. I heard you know people used to say in school when I was little, they used to say, "Oh, Big Show did his own theme." Like you know, that first part where you're just talking. Like if you look at his old theme, like 2005, 2006, they're saying that was him saying, you know, with his first line or whatever it was, right? And now it's like, you know, they said that they totally changed that now. Now it's like just like a random chord, and then bam, they just go straight into the music. Whereas before it was just him just singing and whatever, and that's it, you know. But then they totally changed that now. But what do you guys feel about? Well, I know you were talking about this before who got fired. Mike Johnson was the old composer for WWE. Now he got
Jim
fired.
Johnson?
What, Mark Johnson or Jim? Oh,
Jim
Jim
Johnson.
JJ, double J, right. Jim Johnson. Basically, he was the one that was, yeah. He was the guy that used to what you call it make all the themes for all the wrestlers and things like that. Famous themes: Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, whoever you name it, he's made it before. But what do you guys feel about his exit and CFO coming in?
It could be good, but it could be bad also.
In what sense?
Because when you hear WWE music, first person that comes to your head is Jim Johnson.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Well, what do you feel? Well, I think what's kind of like is, I mean, personally, I've seen this. It seems like CFO, like when they bring in, like for example, right now they got a lot of indie wrestlers coming in. When they bring in like all these kind of indie wrestlers, it kind of seems like they get inspiration from all these kind of old indie themes, and they kind of mix it in some way. Like for example, Nakamura. If you look at his New Japan theme and his WWE theme, they're very similar in many different senses, but they got some things
No,
that
no,
are totally up.
not for nothing. I think Nakamura's theme was originally intended for Bobby Roode, but he turned it down.
Really,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Wow, really, that's interesting.
And to be honest, I like Bobby's theme song.
That's right.
It's
Really,
just
but for Bobby Roode,
there's
that's
there's one word that describes Bobby's entrance.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Glorious, right. Well, what about like for example, Ric Flair? Because Ric Flair, I mean, if you look at like Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair, there's no similarity. I mean, you see Ric Flair it just has a thing. Everybody knows who Ric Flair is. It's like holy shit, okay, we know who that is. But then with Charlotte Flair, I don't know, it just doesn't fit her. Like the way that it does, I think it should be the same way as it is, father daughter. Should be the same kind of dynamic, but they just don't make it work. It's like, come on, man. I mean, I'm just thinking like if you look at the whole long list, like let me ask you guys this: what is the most recognizable theme in all of WWE?
Steve Austin,
So the glass
Shawn
breaking,
Michaels.
Glass Shatter.
glass shatter, right?
That was designed to make a pop.
Yeah.
Mine, Shawn Michaels.
Well, Stone Cold didn't he have that? He didn't have the glass shatter before, right? That was only after I think King of the Ring. After he won King of the Ring, that's when they did that, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Well, I think if you like Invasion, it was like a total shoot off from that, right? They totally changed it, and now it's like I think every time they go back to where it was originally.
Well, didn't he also have a different theme song at one point?
Trying to think, I think he did. Well, probably during Invasion, I think.
It was more of a rock
They had
song.
two different themes. One was Disturbed. They did their own Glass Shatters cover. That was actually really good. I have it on my.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It's in my iTunes library, so that should tell you right there. It's good. And then he
Wow.
also had they had like an instrumental version that was just like he used it around SummerSlam, I think 2001. It was mainly a lot of like it was in the style of, like the Disturbed music, but I mostly remember it because the guitar one,
Yeah.
it sounded like Eeyore from
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh.
It did, yeah, indeed. I mean, here's one thing. I think a lot of things is just well, when you talk about like WWE and their whole library of music, it's a fucking vast library. But it's like like let's say when a wrestler goes to another company, like for example Hulk Hogan. Look at Hulk Hogan. When he left WWE to go to TNA, they didn't know, but TNA legally could take. I think it was a theme. It was a theme from a video game for Hogan. It was actually his NWO theme. I think from NWO Rampage. I think it was on N64. That's where they took his theme from for TNA. If you look back, but like, what would you say would be like? I mean, if you look, we talk about different kind of shows and everything too. I mean, we talk about wrestlers. Let's talk about shows. We of course talk about a show. Entrances. What would be the best entrance like in regards to a show like Raw, SmackDown, independent promotion? What would be the best entrance or basically the best intro theme that you ever heard?
I feel like CFO could
Uh,
they could have CFO do one.
CFO. I don't think CFO has done any of the intros right for the big shows, have they?
I don't think so.
Usually, what I love about NXT is that they stick to like the alternative crowd.
Right.
Because that's what Triple H likes.
Yeah, well, that's what I like too. But I just respect that he always sticks to that style of music, and then for the big show that comes after, it's always some kind of annoying pop song.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I think,
Or Kid Rock.
Yeah, it's like Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit. Yeah.
Although we can't even knock Kid Rock because The Undertaker was coming out to him back in the day.
Oh no, I'm not knocking him. It's just it seems like he always
It help
he does at least one pay-per-view a year. It seems like he has a theme song.
Well, I think well, on Rich's point, I think it's true because I think well, like if you look at, for example, all the performers that have ever worked with WWE, like Limp Bizkit, like it's so generalized to one person. Like imagine doing Limp Bizkit doing a theme for, let's say, a wrestler today. Would it work the same as it did for Undertaker doing Rollin'? I don't think it's like I don't think really because it's like that whole badass the American badass gimmick worked perfect with Limp Bizkit because that was the style at the time. It was cool. It was cool, right? But then like for example like Kid Rock, I think now it's just generalized. Like let's say if it's a special appearance, they're definitely gonna call him because it's generalized to just him. But if they said let's say we want you to do another theme for another wrestler, it just wouldn't work. It's like nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't style doesn't fit. It fits so far with this guy. Why would we go and switch it over for another person? You know?
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to say. But I mean, sticking to shows like Raw, SmackDown. What do you guys think about intros, like intro music? What would be the best intro music for you guys that you ever heard so far?
When it comes to like Raw, SmackDown,
Raw, SmackDown.
Marilyn Manson, Beautiful People.
Beautiful People from SmackDown. That's 2003. What would you, Nick?
Yeah, come to think of it, I think "Beautiful People" was a good one. Although I'm a big fan of the original SmackDown music. The one from the Attitude
From
Era that
Answer Her.
show.
Right.
When it first started.
Yeah, that was killer.
Well, I think it's kind of like the shows. Well, was SmackDown more of a metal theme or was Raw more of a metal theme from back in the day? It was Raw, right? That was more of a metal
Raw was
theme.
more added. Raw was more metal themed. If you look at
And the
the
Smack.
era, it's straight up death metal.
Uh-huh. But then SmackDown
Yeah,
was more. Well, SmackDown was more regular metal, or was it just regular, just rock? I guess alternative,
it was more alternative. It seemed like.
alternative, right? I mean, for me, I think the one that sticks out to me the most. I think everybody probably agrees with this one. Union Underground, Raw. That I think was like that just hands down for me. That just stuck to it. They got their whole 25th anniversary. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, a lot of people have made like a petition. They're saying they want the Raw intro to be under Union or the Underground theme. The whole what you call it
Oh, the
that
sirens.
was yeah, yeah. No, not the sirens. This was in 2003, 2003 to 2007, I think 2008. I forgot what the full song was. There's something about Union Underground. Across the nation, across the nation. Yeah,
Oh, to the music.
yeah. Across the music.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
Oh
good.
yeah.
yeah. There we go.
That one was that's it. I think that one was just stuck. That one, like for some reason, Raw. Whenever you think of Raw, that just stuck 100% for me.
I mean, it fit the times. That was
Mhm.
for sure.
Right, right. Well, I mean, is
It was
of
great.
course No, you're saying my fault. I mean, it's just like I don't know. For some reason, that just stuck to me. And now, of course, people say they broke up. They're not there. Half of them are pretty much they're not here anymore. It's just it's just sad because now you see like it's just WWE has all these rights, but they don't use them, which is real bullshit. It's like, come on, man. They could really make a lot of benefit from just using it or just doing something with it. At least if it's just in there in the library, what benefit is it doing to anybody? Basically, it's just going there, sitting there, just taking up dust, and people just sitting there saying, okay, this is the potential of that, but it's not there no more. You know, like if you look at the Ruthless Aggression era, I think that's the music that just kind of stuck for WWE. You know, for that era. I mean, yeah, we talked. Yeah, I mean, we just talked basically about full entrance. Um, let me ask you this,
So
guys. Listen, what? Yeah, what were you saying,
no, I was gonna ask a
Rich?
question. I was gonna ask a question
Yeah,
for all three of us.
yeah.
If you had to pick your top three entrance musics, who
Mm-hmm.
is it?
Entrance themes.
Um, Hulk Hogan, hands down, is definitely on there. Steve Austin's definitely on there. It would be. I kind of want to say Ultimate Warrior too, because
So you're going old school, all three.
yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Sal.
I mean, for me, I'd probably just pick like a mix. I'd probably pick CM Punk's what you call it, second theme. I forgot what
Cult
the
of
name was.
Personality.
Oh yeah, what you call it, Cult of Personality. That'd be one. Another one would be probably what you call it. For some reason, Undertaker's Ministry theme. I don't know. I like that. Um, what else? One more, right? One more. Uh, I'll say Nakamura's for some reason.
Okay, not bad at all.
Mhm. I'm
Mine.
rich.
First one, Edge.
Which one?
Any, the rated R one. The one by
Was most
Alter
recent.
Bridge, Metalingus. That's the actual name of the song.
Yep.
I actually have it on my phone.
Me too.
It's on
It's on my
iTunes.
iPod.
Love it.
Meddling is right.
Second one, AJ Styles.
Oh hell yeah!
Just because either one, the TNA one, Get Ready to Fly, or Phenomenal. Either one, don't care.
Right.
And third one, Glorious.
Glorious.
Because all three of those songs are just songs you'll randomly sing in the middle of the day.
Right. That's true. They kind of get stuck in handle, right? That's right.
Glorious.
Well, then what do you guys feel about, let's say, women's music? Like, I know this whole women's revolution going on and everything like that.
Sasha.
What do you guys feel about Sasha Banks?
Sasha.
Sasha, hands down, right?
Yeah.
Sasha.
What about what else? What else? Because besides Sasha, I don't think there really is anybody else who's really that really pops out
Carmella's is kind of catchy.
a little bit, yeah. Who else?
Well, it sounds like fancy.
Well, Naomi. What about Naomi?
I like her remix.
Yep. I mean, if you look at like, let's say PG era, like when the wrestlers were named, when female wrestlers were named divas, I think they totally changed everything, totally shifted all the music, like the whole style of it and everything like that. But before it was like all just pop star, pop style kind of stuff and everything like that. So now
They
it's like
really
actual,
didn't have songs.
yeah. It was just like derivatives of like pop songs, pretty much.
The
But
only
you
one who
never
really
saw
had a song was Trish
who's
and
that?
Stacy Keibler.
Right. That's right. Well, what about, like, of course, yeah, because always like they had the whole sex appeal, I guess, too. Like if you see Stacey Keebler, you see like Tori, for example, Tori Wilson, fucking I say fucking as hell, all these other top stars and everything like that. Like, you see, for example, like Ivory, Jacqueline, they're more of the wrestling type, more of the wrestler map based
She had a
wrestlers. Yeah,
basic song.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was generic, but it was nothing else there. What about factions? What are you guys' favorite? Well, how about this? What's your favorite top? What you call it? Faction music?
NWO.
NWO, the guitar, right?
Yeah, all you had to hear was the first 5 seconds of the NWO theme song, and you already had an idea of what the group was all about. So I call it an effective theme song.
Right.
Mine's
Replicated
between
so many other
NWO and DX.
Really? For me, I'd say Sanity for some reason. I like Sanity.
Oh, we're all forgetting one great faction.
Which is that?
Besides that, the Spirit Squad. The minute you hear the names,
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's
That was legendary.
well. I kind of fit the
to
character.
be honest, I'm not even joking around. Because the
Yeah.
minute you hear the names, you're like, oh, it's the Spirit Squad.
That's right. What about indies? Let's talk about indies. Indies music, I guess. Do you feel like?
Cody
Well, I
Rhodes.
think indies. Yeah,
Yeah, Cody's.
Cody, right? I'll say Scroll. I like Marty Scroll. I don't know, for some reason I like Marty Scroll. That just stuck to me. That was like probably the first time. Yeah.
Wrestling has more than one royal family. And if you remember, Sal, when we went to Final Battle, I was singing Cody's song.
Cody's, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It grew on me when I first heard it at
in
when
TNA.
he debuted in TNA.
Really?
That's where I first came to. That's where I first started playing it, and then he started using it everywhere. But then TNA, I don't know, they slowed down the theme song for some reason, so they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
That's right. Well, what do you guys think about the Titantron? Well, we talk about, of course, the entrance themes. I think Titantron is one of the biggest parts. We always talk about that too. You know, what's the biggest Titantron that sticks out to you the most? I'll say in all of wrestling, Indies, WWE, whatever.
To be honest,
Yep.
you can't go wrong with Undertaker's.
Undertaker. So the gong and then the bell. Oh, well, he got a series of different Titantrons, I guess, right? Because the first one, I think the most recent one is just like just smoke. I think it's just blank. It's just a blank screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like now, and that's really interesting. I never noticed that before. It was like either like it was like some creepy video as Nick was talking about earlier, or it was just like tombstones and things like that. Now it's just like a silent. It's like a blank screen, just a blank screen, and it's just the fog and the smoke. That's it. That's all you see.
It's Undertaker. It's Undertaker.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Especially after 25 years, definitely.
Because once you hear the gongs, you know who it is.
That's right. Nick, what about you?
Any era or?
Well, yeah, any era, indie or WWE, best Titantron.
I don't know. It's hard to say. The indies don't really have an emphasis on the Titantron, although I feel like ROH has kind of stepped up their game.
They really have.
I kind of like the whole. I like Marty Scurll's Titantron thing, even though it's the same 15-second thing played on a loop, but I think it adds to the music.
Right.
Whoop, whoop.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
Yep. That's right. That's right. I think that's the big thing. I think it's just that. That's all. Just that, that crowd interaction. That's the big thing. I mean, for me, you'd be surprised to hear this. I think the best Titantron, hands down, John Cena.
Oh,
You'd be surprised to hear that. You'd be surprised to hear that from me. The reason why, I mean, it's just because I mean, if
really,
I don't know. Well, here's the thing.
But you can't have nice things.
Well, hear my reason. Hear me out. Hear me out. If you're talking about like Titantrons,
it better be a good fucking excuse.
I hope, yeah. So I mean, I'll tell you why. So the reason why is because I mean, if you're looking at just Titantrons, like the average viewer, like person that just doesn't know about WWE, when they look at a Titantron, they say, okay, okay, who's this kind of person? You see that Titantron, it pretty much summarizes who John Cena really is. Basically, it's like this big, figure, fans love him. It's like this guy, oh my god, Imagine a heel, like if you think about this, would any other Titantron work for John Cena? Look at like the Nexus, for example, when they did that whole thing with the Nexus. They tried it very briefly, but it just didn't work. If they try to make Cena heel, I don't know how they would be doing that. I think that's the most trickiest part. It's not the fact that, they got to make Cena heel. I think also another thing that's going to be tricky for them is how do we make a Titantron that fits it, that fits that mold? Okay, he's a heel, he's a bad guy. It's hard to do, I think.
A slower, heavier theme song. Same version
slower, heavy theme song?
of the old theme song, though.
All right, so you got the pass on this one. You
I
got
got
a legit excuse.
Well, I think actually if you go,
you get one pass.
Well, if you go on YouTube, just type in John Cena heel theme. There's actually fans that have made like their own remixes of heel John Cena theme, and it's pretty good. I mean, look at it; it's interesting. But then when I look at the Titantron, it just doesn't fit. Like they take probably snippets of his original face theme, and it's just like all right, maybe the black and white and things like that, but nothing much after that. If they really could, like I think, what would be really really creative would be just like The Rock. Rock is this big figure. He's this big thing, and then they made him this Hollywood Hollywood rock thing. That's pretty good. That's good. But you're never gonna see that thing with John Cena. It's hard. If they do that, I'll be surprised if they do pull it out. So let's see with that. But yeah.
Well, now one more question.
Yeah.
Most underrated theme song.
Most underrated theme song. Hard to say. Well, that's overall, right? WWE, Indies, everything, right?
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose.
Wow.
Really?
That is true.
I'll leave you with
So,
that.
Yeah.
Yours?
Hard to say. Hard to say. Well, what's yours? Let me ask you that.
Billy Gunn when he was Mr. Ass.
Yes, yes, man. Yeah, I was
'Cause
gonna say.
you would sing it randomly.
Yeah, that's right.
What's yours?
For me, Sabu. Sabu's theme from ECW, I guess. You know, or I say old school ECW, even if you wanted to do that. You know, like the whole saxophone thing. That would be cool. You know, that's something that I never really, that kind of, I don't know, just for some reason it just gravitated. You know, it's like cool. You know, there's a cool character. But you see the Titantron and all stuff, and doing all this crazy stuff. Two different parallels, two different things, but they matched. They gelled pretty well, so that was pretty good. I like that. You know, because you see like if you see,
Taz is also good in WWE.
oh man, which one? The one that where you just like it's like beep beep beep, and then it just goes right into his theme.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was dope
That
too.
one.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, that one's pretty dope too. It sets the tone too. That's what I like about that. Well, how about
That-
let's see. Talk about indie stars. Talk about factions. What about legends?
And then we also
Yeah.
have women also.
Well, we talk about the women. We talk about pretty much Sasha, I guess, and Tori and Jazz, I guess, or Jacqueline.
Then there's also Alexa Bliss.
Ivory.
Good song.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss. She got a catchy tune too. Ivory, of course. Yeah, definitely. What else? Well, of course, when you're talking about any, well, what
your-
are legends?
Your question, legends.
Yeah, legends. For me,
Well, what do you consider a legend?
legends,
Before when?
I would say legends. It doesn't have to be Hall of Fame. I would say someone who's just recognized in the business for a long, long time. Like I'd say 20 years or plus. Like
Ric
yeah,
Flair.
like say Ric Flair. You could say yeah, Ric Flair's perfect.
Ric
for
Flair,
me,
without a doubt.
yeah, for me, I would say Triple H. Any iteration of Triple H's music, perfect. I would say definitely it works for him.
Even Blue Blood Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. Fuck it. It works.
I
mean, it's a good word.
I go Ric Flair because he's had the same song.
Right. Nick, what about you?
He's had the same song since he started.
Legend?
Without a doubt,
I mean, with
whenever you bring
legend,
up his name, already the theme music already plays.
really?
And
Who
I'm
was
talking
that?
American, not American made.
Hulk Hogan.
Well, NWO to an extent.
NWO. Nice.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I mean, well, when we of course, let's. I guess we're talking about pretty much women's, men, everything, independence. Well, what we didn't talk about last thing, I say, we'll kind of wrap it up from here. Best WrestleMania entrance, period. Like entrance, like the whole theatricals, the whole, music. Who?
Who'd you say?
Rusev and the Tank.
Rusev
Not
and the
bad at
Tank.
all.
Yeah, I like that presentation. It was good. But I mean,
I don't have one specific.
Mhm.
Any Triple H one. Just
Oh.
pick a Triple H entrance.
Yeah. I mean, I think with Triple H, he's probably had the most iconic WrestleMania entrances, probably in history, out of anybody else. I mean, if you look at
this is the first time and the last time you'll hear me say this.
Yeah.
The John Cena one when he drove through the stage in the car.
Oh, definitely the Ford Field. Yeah, I remember that. That was stuck. Yeah, definitely. For me,
But
I mean,
my actual answer, any Triple H one.
any Triple H, right? That's true. Well, John Cena's had the same kind of thing where he's always reinvented himself, but over the past few years, he hasn't really done much. It's like, it's all right. It's not much of a thing right there. But
Well, I'm waiting to see Finn Balor's this year.
oh man, I hope there's like a big Finn Balor entrance. That hasn't happened yet at all. So we'll have to see. For me,
Or Nakamura.
yeah, Nakamura.
Also, or
Yeah.
fuck that, Bobby Roode. I want to see his entrance.
Oh man, there's so many stars. Of course, Bobby Roode, of course, everyone's see. For me,
Bobby
I'd say
Roode, Finn
yeah.
Balor, and Nakamura. Those are the three I want to see this year.
That's right. Well, for me, I think it'll be Ric Flair. Ric Flair WrestleMania 24 when he had his thing, and then when you look back, I mean, of course, we look at that triple threat they had in WrestleMania 32, basically this past year where Charlotte was having that match in WrestleMania. They had that whole thing where they just go back to that whole thing, that one picture. Basically, it's just Ric Flair's last match. He has a robe, bam, and what happens is you see Charlotte Flair come out with her robe, same exact robe, same exact design, alteration.
You know that's his robe, right? That
Yes,
she wore.
yeah, his actual robe, the actual robe that he actually wore at WrestleMania 24, which is kind of historic. It's good. I like that. I think what it is they should keep doing this kind of continuation. With WWE, I think the biggest problem, things never make sense. Things never add up. Like for some reason, they'll reboot a character. They'll make a character a matador. Then they'll make him a travel agent. They'll do all these kind of crazy things. But then it doesn't fit at all. But then and when you see them do this kind of stuff, it just doesn't work. And then next thing you know, you see Fandango. The whole Fandango thing, the whole crowd going. The whole this ain't along with Fandango thing. That stuff, yeah, that stuck for a while, but then they just totally buried that. They came to a point where they just totally ignored it. They totally done it, and that was kind of sad because like, oh man. But then you see Tyler Breeze and him doing their kind of crazy segments, real nice, real cool. Makes sense. But now it's like it makes no sense. What they should do is just keep having this kind of continuum, just keep on going with this, which makes total sense. But nonetheless, I mean, we'll have to see. There's other wrestlers, of course. There's gonna be different kind of things. More people coming through NXT. CFO, of course. Now pretty much Jim Johnson is out of the picture. Now it's just CFO taking over the whole music reigns of WWE, pretty much the whole everything like that. So we'll have to see how that works from there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I actually liked him a lot.
yeah. I actually got to say CFO actually done. They're very creative with their themes. I say, and plus they give their wrestlers more input. I've heard them say that. I think that Jim Johnson he didn't give that much input with the wrestlers. I think he just kind of like Vince just trusted him, saying, "Okay, just deliver us a theme, and we'll go with it."
Well, don't forget now with NXT, where a guy could just get over simply on his entrance music alone. And,
No way, Jose.
It should be where wrestlers should have their input. Perhaps maybe they are getting over with their entrance because they have that input.
That's right. That's right. I mean, it's kind of like I'd rather, and many wrestlers have talked about this in the past in different interviews. The worst thing is coming into it, like let's say coming to an arena, you got a program, and then they tell you, oh, we got this plan for you. This is your new entrance now, and you're just thinking that it doesn't fit, and then you got to think to yourself, this is something I got to make myself work with for the next X amount of years. How's that gonna work? It's like, come on, man, and that's what kind of leads I think people to get frustrated because based on that theme or that entrance, that'll affect everything, the whole presentation of it, who you are, these kind of things, the reaction, all this kind of stuff, So entrances and themes are big things when it comes to shaping up to
And
what
if
a
you
wrestler
also
is.
think about it, you could be a horrible performer in the ring, but you'll get over with the crowd because of your entrance.
That's right. That's right. And I think whether you're a face or heel, doesn't matter. If your theme stands out, people will either choose to get behind you or people, will either take a dump on you and say, no, fuck it, we don't want this guy, So that's, I think, a very tricky thing to do. But yeah, nonetheless, this is the RSN Wrestling Podcast. This is Sal, the Mastermind, signing out. We got the big guy, Rich. And
See you guys.
Night that runs the site.
And we got,
then we got
the night that runs the site.
the night that runs the site, PWO. Yes. Pro Wrestling Opinion. We'll see you guys out.
Lopez.
Nick
Lopez.
Later.
Well, what's the line? Rich.
Oh yeah, it's tagline time.
Tagline time, man. Come on, man. You know better.
Nick, since this is your first show back, you get to do it since it's your site.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what we've always said, I think, Nick, I don't know if you remember. I usually prefer audiobooks, but you prefer reading.
Reading is
right?
fun. Reading about pro wrestling puts you over.
That's right.
Yeah.
PWO, Pro Wrestling Opinion. This is RSN Wrestling Podcast. See you guys out.
Where RSN, you're not.
Indeed.
We're out.